It's your choice and yours alone. Nobody else's. Do it right and no one will notice except you. But do it wrong and you could have a bad back for life. Then everyone will know about it, most of all you. It could affect the rest of your family, your lifestyle and your money. And it could force you to change career. Or worse still, it could put an end to your working life altogether. Statistics don't mean a lot to some people, but the Health and Safety Executive keep count of all reported accidents and injuries in the industry. You might think that manual handling never seriously hurt anyone, but in this industry, in just 1 year, 3,257 people hurt themselves badly enough to be off work for more than 3 days. That works out at over 12 people every working day. In addition, 342 people had major injuries. That's broken bones or worse. That's more than one for every working day. If you think about it, that means today there'll be at least one major injury through manual handling and 12 accidents that mean the person will be off sick for a while. This programme can help you to take precautions and make sure you're not one of those statistics. It's all about you making the choice about how you do things. If you get injured, damage your back, drop something on your foot, then it's probably because you made the wrong choice. What we're going to do is give you the choice of getting it right, of staying fit and healthy, of working and earning instead of being off sick, in pain and possibly short of money.
Right, so you know what we've said about manual handling, okay? Are you all right with that? Because the thing is, we've got to do it properly. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get the telehandler to bring the materials as close as we can to the job. So that way, we've just got a short distance then to carry the materials to the workplace. We've got to do it like that. Otherwise...
By law, your employer has to try to avoid the need for any manual handling tasks that would involve a risk of injury to you. If it can't be avoided and can't be done by mechanical means using, say, a telehandler or forklift truck, then the employer must carry out an assessment of the work. They then have to take steps to reduce that risk to the lowest level that's reasonably practical. Part of the control procedures following a risk assessment might be to give you proper training in manual handling. This flowchart, which comes from the guidance on the regulations, shows what your employer should do. But you have a part to play as well. If you can see any way of making manual handling easier and safer for you or for anyone else, talk to your employer. Your side of the bargain is to follow any instructions and any training that you've been given. If there's any work equipment for lifting and moving things, you have to use it properly. And if you haven't been trained in using a piece of machinery, in other words, if you're not competent, don't touch it. Leave it to someone who is competent and authorised.
As a physiotherapist, I see lots of people, housewives, sportsmen and women, factory workers, but most of all I see construction workers. This is because they have damaged themselves through poor manual handling techniques. The area which is damaged the most is the back. This is because it is not a stiff, strong, load-bearing area. It is an area where it is flexible and fragile with a large amount of soft tissue which can be easily damaged. You have to think about how you lift. If you bend, twist or turn your back whilst you're lifting, your back will soon be in trouble. It's that simple. Know your limitations. You want to be comfortable with what you're lifting. You don't want to be rigid and stiff when you're lifting. You want to be straight, head up, an object close to you. And that's what manual handling is all about.
Kinetic handling is the correct and safest method of handling. It uses strong leg and thigh muscles, not the weaker back muscles, and it maintains the natural shape of the spine. In kinetic handling, posture is most important. There are 7 points to remember. Point 1, the correct position of the feet. They should be placed apart, giving a balanced, stable base. Make sure that the leading leg is placed as far forward as is comfortable. Point 2, keep your knees flexible. Bend them so that when you grasp the load, your hands are level with your waist. Don't kneel or overflex the knees. Point 3, Keep your back straight, keeping a natural curve of the spine, tucking your chin in while you grip the load. If necessary, you can lean forward a little over the load to get a better grip. Keep your shoulders level and facing the same direction as your hips. Point 4, keep your arms as close to your body for all lifting and carrying. Keep the heaviest side of the load closest to the trunk of the body. If a close approach to the load isn't possible, try sliding it towards you before you attempt to lift it. Point 5, get a firm grip. Try to keep the arms within the boundary formed by the legs. The best position and nature of the grip depends on circumstances and individual preference, but it must be secure. A hook grip is preferable to keeping your fingers straight and is less likely to cause fatigue. Point 6, keep your head up. As you start to raise the load, keep control of the load with your head in a straight position. Point 7, use the momentum of the body weight and forward movement, just like this. As we bend down, we keep the back straight, but flex the knees so that they're at the right angle, not too flexed as to cause a too sharper angle. Bring the load towards you. Get it comfortable in grip, pull it close to the body, and as you lift with your chin in and your head up.
Let's now take a look at some of the things you're likely to have to move on site. Bags of cement, dense concrete blocks, paving slabs, curb stones, manhole covers, 25-litre plastic drums, gas bottles, steel, shuttering timber, and materials such as rolls of roofing felt and 8x4 sheets of plasterboard. Problems can arise when one person takes on a large, difficult or awkward-shaped load. These can pose unexpected difficulties, such as misjudging the centre of gravity. Lifting things up to high places causes excess back strain, as does lifting a load or object that's well away from the body. Accidents don't just happen when lifting or carrying. Overloaded wheelbarrows can cause all sorts of problems. When large or awkward weights are involved, you should seek assistance. Ideally, it should be somebody of similar build to yourself so that you can work together and the load doesn't become unbalanced. It's important that any team lifting is properly coordinated. One person should give directions. Some problems have been reduced at the materials design stage. Paving slabs are made smaller. Some building blocks are lightweight, and bags of cement are now produced in the smaller 25 kilo size. Heavy building blocks are still a major cause of concern in the industry. Despite duties on designers and others, blocks weighing over 20 kilos are still being used. If you're involved in the manual handling of these, then do it with extreme care, preferably using more than one person to lift them. Control measures do lower some of the risks, but a great deal more has to do with your judgment and your common sense. Before doing any manual handling, decide: does it need to be moved? If it does, can it be done mechanically? If not, what is the best and safest way to handle it? How far does it have to be moved? And from where to where? Where is the load's centre of gravity? And can the load be broken down into smaller units?
Right, so let's see. 3:30 and we've got to get this lot shifted by 5.
4:30 if you want to get away. Come on, let's get cracking.
Hey, now just wait a minute.
Why? What's the matter?
You can't just rush into this. You've got to think about these things first. You've got to think about your own safety.
Yeah, but we've got to get the job done, haven't we?
Well, yeah, but at what expense? Spending the rest of your life in a wheelchair? Look, no job's worth that. I mean, look, take those sheets over there. We've got to work out how we're going to pick them up, where we're going to carry them to, how we're going to put them down, how heavy are they? Oh, and are they balanced? You've got to think about these things, work it out and work as a team.
Well, what if we split it up into smaller loads?
All the better, yeah. You see, the thing is, a lot of blokes think that this job's all about muscle. Well, it isn't. It's about using a bit of what's up here.
Yeah, but I've seen plenty of other fellas lumping all sorts of stuff around. They just laugh about it.
Well, they might do now. But one day... Look, I knew one bloke. I used to work with him. Big, beefy bloke he was. I tell you what, you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him. Well, he did his back in one day, lifting something that he shouldn't, too heavy, and in an awkward position. God, you should have heard him scream. I mean, God, it was frightening.
So what's he doing now?
Nothing. He can't work properly anymore because of his back. That 1 minute of stupidity finished him off for life. I mean, he gets the odd job now and again, but, well, that's it. You've got to use your brain. I mean, what's more important, eh? Getting off work half an hour early, or being able to go home and play football with your lad? Being able to go out and earn some money?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I mean, if you saw the amount of injuries in this industry every year from bad manual handling, I tell you what, it'd turn you white.
Right, in which case, let's do a bit of planning, shall we? See how we're going to shift this lot.
All right, now you're talking, lad.
Good manual handling makes good sense. Far too many accidents happen on construction sites to ordinary people just like you and your colleagues. As with other things in life, prevention is better than cure. In many cases of injury, especially with back injury, there sometimes is no cure, just pain for the rest of your life.
It's your choice. Look after your back and it will look after you. Injuries tend to be more serious in your case due to the nature of work you do. I can sometimes help with physiotherapy, sometimes I can't. For those who I can't help, they may suffer with chronic back pain for the rest of their life, which means that they can't earn good money, lead an active social life, or work properly. It is better to prevent than to cure.
This could have an unfortunate outcome, but it was his choice. He could have avoided the pain had he used good manual handling techniques. So, what about you? Is picking up that pile of slabs really worth it, just to prove you can, or to save a couple of minutes? Think about it. It's your choice.